And the type of adult that I want to be is one that is reliable. Like, whether I'm able to give you what you need or I'm not, you're gonna get a response. I wanna be the type of mature adult that can say that to you, that can communicate that to you. That takes maturity. You have that bandwidth within you. You have that patience within you. You are capable of connecting and Hey y'all, it's your girl Abby and I'm back with another video. How is everyone doing? Welcoming in February. I'm so excited for 2025 and all that it's gonna bring. And so yeah, we're sticking to this consistency. We're sticking to these videos. This is me really giving myself a pep talk because I've been struggling to put out these YouTube videos, man. I have been struggling. But anyways, we're not gonna do too much of a long wow. I'm not going to do too much of a long intro. I just want to get into the topic of this video, and the topic is saying no. So let's get into it. I think a lot of times we can misunderstand what the meaning of no is and actually end up spreading ourselves thin because we agree to way more than what we can actually give. Like, we end up saying yes to things that we don't even have the capacity to do. And so I want to talk about saying no and why it's important to be honest with your no, right? Being honest with your no is taking note of what you are capable of doing, right? And oftentimes we know in that moment. Like, when someone asks you to do something, say for example, someone asks you to do them a favor, you know in your gut that that's not something that you could do. Like, I'm so sorry. I cannot meet you there. I cannot show up for you in that way right now, this week, this month. Matter of fact, I cannot do that for you within the next 6 months. Maybe it's something that you are not comfortable doing. But I find myself in those moments just agreeing and being like, not giving a direct no, but saying like, I'll let you know. I might be able to, but I'm not sure because I have, plans on this day and that day. And so I could maybe do it, but I'll have to let you know. And we kind of do that to kind of like get us out of that moment because we are afraid of confronting that person and saying no. But I want to talk about why it's important to actually just be honest and upfront with people and why it isn't a bad thing. Because I think sometimes we aren't honest with people because we genuinely think that we're being mean. Like, I know for me, I will loaf and I will prolong a no because I think that it is not nice of me. I think that I should be helping every single person that I can. And the thing that I had to realize for myself is like, if the first thing is really taking like a self-evaluation of what you're willing to do for people and what you are capable. And once you realize and once you have that feeling within you of like, oh yeah, I'm not capable of showing up for you, I'm not capable for it, the best thing that you can do in that situation is honestly communicate that. Because this is one thing I've learned is it's better to be honest and upfront with someone and show them where you are than to sort of mask it or to sort of loaf and beat around the bush to cover up how you genuinely feel, It's better to just honestly communicate. No, I can't. And sometimes people will meet you a little bit immaturely, like they might get upset, they might be offended by your no, but you have to understand that a mature person is going to respect your no. A mature person is going to respect your boundary because it isn't a reflection of them and it isn't a reflection of the relationship you have with them. Your no is just simply communicating what you are capable of doing in this season, what you are capable of doing, maybe not even in the season, but what you are comfortable with, right? And so I think sometimes when we are used to maybe interacting with more immature people, because an immature person is going to have an emotional response to your no. An immature person is going to have an outburst to the setting of your boundaries. You set a boundary, an immature person is going to throw a fit about it. That in itself is emotional immaturity. And I think when we've been around this emotional immaturity for a really long time, or it's just something that we are used to, we don't understand that there are mature people. There are people that are emotionally secure and don't have to have these outbursts. They exist. And so when you do say no to to another adult or another emotionally mature person, they're not going to have an emotional outburst. They're not going to question your no. It's simply communication. And that's something that I have to remind myself. That's something I genuinely have to remind myself is like me saying no and me setting a boundary is me communicating. I'm communicating what I can and cannot do. I'm communicating what I'm comfortable and what I'm not comfortable with. And it's simply that. It's not a reflection of my relationship with you. It's not a reflection of my affection towards you. It's not a reflection of what I want to do for you. Maybe I do want to help you. Maybe I do want to show up for you, but I'm not comfortable with it. It's not a reflection of the love that I have for you. It's simply me communicating and me being honest. And so that's one thing that I have been really trying to like imprint on my heart and imprint on my mind is like, it's okay to say no. It's actually a good thing to say no. You know, sometimes it's like you have to you got to change the mindset. You've got to change the perspective. Like no isn't mean. No, saying no and being honest with your no is a good thing. Saying no and being honest with your no is good. It's a sign of a good relationship. It's a sign of or not even a sign, but it's a way of getting closer to people. It's a way of genuinely showing up as yourself. And we know that in order for two people to connect and have a authentic, genuine connection, there has to be honesty, right? And I'm not just talking about, relationships. This is between relationships, friendships, working relationships, any two people coming together. When there is honesty, there is a genuine connection. When we are beating around the bush, not saying no when we need to, kind of adding in all this fluff, that's not a genuine connection. You're not being honest. And so you owe the other person your honesty. You know, that other person deserves your honesty, and you not being transparent and you not saying where you are is an act of dishonesty. And so for the sake of your own boundary and for the sake of your own mental well-being, be honest with your no. And for the sake of that person and them managing their expectations and managing their day or their schedule, be honest with them. You know, it's a lot easier said than done, but it's something that I really want to implement in my life is like, no is just no. And no is not a fighting word. That's really what it is. Like, no is not a fighting word. I am not fighting you when I say no. I am not telling you that I hate you when I say no. That's something that I struggle with. It's like, oh man, I don't want them to be upset at me, or I don't want them to think that I don't care about them. I do care about them, but I just gotta say no. No does not mean that. Like that is not the translation of no. It's simply communication. And so if anyone watching this video is struggling with their no's, let's get through this together and let's start to like imprint on our heart and brain that no is communication. It isn't a fighting word. Okay. Another thing that I have been trying to implement, or that I have been, you know, when you mentally take notes, like I've been mentally taking notes of the things that I need to let go of. And so the first thing was obviously saying no when I mean no. And the second thing is getting to the point. Getting to the point. Okay, that's not a good way of explaining it. It's not necessarily getting to a point, but it's like procrastinating day-to-day tasks. Like, you know, when you get an email and you see the email and you've actually opened the email and you've read the email, but it's not something you're ready to respond to, or you get a text message and you've read it, you've seen it, you've acknowledged it, a DM, you've read it, you've seen it, you've acknowledged it, but for some reason, you know the answer in your mind, you know the response that you're going to eventually send, but you can't get yourself to do it. I don't know what causes that. I genuinely don't know what that is, because I will have a full-on response in my mind and know exactly what I want to say, but not say it because I'm like doubting myself, or it makes me a little bit uncomfortable. And then a day later or hours later, end up saying the first thing that I knew I was going to say. And it's like, I could have just responded to this person a lot quicker. I could have just got the answer to them, because I ended up saying exactly what I was thinking, but didn't want to write back then. And so I'm like at this place in my life where I'm like, okay, I need to be a mature lady. I need to grow up. I need to be an adult. And the type of adult that I want to be is one that is reliable. Like, I want people to be able to rely on me. If you call me, I'm picking up. If you text me, I'm picking up. Whether I'm able to give you what you need or I'm not, you're going to get a response. You know that you can rely on me. And relying on me doesn't mean that I am going to be at your service 24/7 and then I'm going to be at your service whenever you need it. Okay. This is going back to our boundaries. I'm going to do what I can. But if I'm not able to show up for you, I want to be the type of mature adult that can say that to you, that can communicate that to you. That takes maturity to be like, nah, I can't show up. Or, you know what, that sounds really fun, but I'm not going to be able to make it. I don't have to take 1, 2, 3, 4 days to get to my phone to let you know what I was already going to let you know, you know? And I know like it's challenging. It's really challenging sometimes. I don't even know why I do it. Like, I don't even know why I procrastinate in that sense, but I do. And I was just thinking about it, thinking of all the things that I want to let go this year. And that's really one of them. Like, I don't have to be afraid of my messages. I don't have to be fearful of communicating and telling people where I'm at. Like, that's not the type of adult that I want to be. I want to be, like I said, reliable and mature. And so that's one of the things that I'm going to let go of. And I think the way that I'm going to start doing it, or the way that I have started doing that, is like, every time that I catch myself looking at a notification, you like going back to it once or twice, looking at it, but not addressing it. I literally remind myself of the type of person I want to be. I want to be a reliable, emotionally mature adult. That's what I want to be. And so I remind myself of that. And that in itself is literally motivation enough to just open the phone and respond, or open the email and just send a quick response. Like, reminding yourself of where you want to be is enough motivation to get you there, because it's an ideal, right? The goal you have is an ideal. It's something that you want. Hopefully you have that desire for it. And so thinking about that desire can motivate you into actually taking the steps, the hard steps that you need to take in order to get there. And sometimes we need to encourage ourselves along that way. Like, you might have to tell yourself, a response is a response. If they don't take it, kindly, obviously you're going to say things kindly, but if they don't receive it in that way, I can explain myself. I can let them know. I can send another message. I can communicate. Everything that I'm trying to work on is really about communication. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm not that good at communication. I'm not as good as I thought I was at communication, because everything I'm sort of trying to work on is about communicating and not being afraid to communicate, not being afraid of like how people are going to receive me. Sometimes I have to remind myself, like, it's fine. If they take it the wrong way, I can just explain myself. And I think, when I really think about it, I think it stems from just what you're used to. Like, I don't even know if I'm used to it, but I think I expect most people. I think I've just been around a lot of emotionally immature people in general. And, I don't want to say that sensitivity is emotional immaturity, but when you aren't able to kind of integrate that sensitivity in a mature way, it can be immature. And I think I've just experienced a lot of people that are sensitive, and I love sensitive people because I understand it and I'm sensitive as well. But when I've been around a lot of people that are sensitive and not properly integrated, and so I'm used to having a lot of emotional outbursts, or people being very, taking things very personally, and me having to like clear up my intentions, or like fight to represent myself in the way that I genuinely feel. Like, I didn't want to offend you. I'm so sorry you're offended, like that's not what I meant. And having to like overly explain myself and overly prove my innocence in a way. I think that's really what it stems from, is just being used to an emotionally immature environment. And I'm not saying that I'm exempt from that. Like, let me just put that out there. I'm not saying I am exempt from that, because I know I'm a sensitive person, and I've definitely been that person that has the emotional outburst and is like, you said this, you meant this, and it's just immature. So I'm not exempt, but it is something that I genuinely want to work through and that I don't want to be anymore. Like I said, one of my goals is to be a reliable and emotionally mature or just mature in general adult. And so that's what it comes down to. Like, I just have to say what I have to say, and I have to be willing to be misunderstood sometimes. And if you're misunderstood, just know that you can always explain yourself, and, you know, just know that just always be genuine. Just always be genuine. And when you're operating from a genuine space, it's very hard for people to come at you. It's very hard for people to genuinely, if they're trying to understand you, it's very hard for them to misunderstand you. And so just be yourself authentically, be genuine, like, be you, be genuine in that. And those intentions will, people will pick up on those intentions. And sometimes you have to do a little explaining. Um, sometimes you have to communicate, and sometimes you have to explain yourself, but there's nothing wrong with that. And you are more than capable of doing it. Like, you have that within you. You have that bandwidth within you. You have that patience within you. You are capable of communicating. You are capable of connecting and relating with all types of people. Doesn't matter their maturity level. You are capable of doing it because you are patient, you are loving, you are kind, and this is you walking into the mature, reliable version of yourself. And so you can do it. Y'all, I hope that we are strengthened by the good Lord on our pursuit to be communicators and to be mature communicators. I hope that we are filled with the loving, gentle kindness of the Lord when we are struggling. I know that we can do it. I know that I can do it. And so I know that you can do it. That's pretty much, I think I'm going to end the video here. I never know how to end the videos because I feel like I'm always ending them very abruptly, and I don't want to do that. But that's all I really have to say, y'all. And I want to thank you guys for being here. Just some housekeeping things. I have a Substack newsletter where I release weekly and monthly, sometimes, newsletters about, you know, just kind of think pieces. They're all centered around the topics of mental health, well-being, you know, the inward stuff. It's all inward stuff. And so if you are someone that wants to read, or just kind of, you know, have some more content of mine, know some of the things that I've been writing or thinking about, definitely subscribe to my newsletter. It'll be sent directly to your inbox. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I post a little bit more regularly over there. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. I love you so much. If you have made it this far, thank you so much. I love you, and I really appreciate your support. You are, I just love you. All right. I just love you. Thank you. Genuinely, thank you. Subscribe to the channel, like this video if it's something you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace and love, and bye for now. Mwah.